Today, brothers, I want to talk about paradigms, man. In other words, what time are you on, man? What timeline we're operating from, bro? Like, in other words, I want to talk about the world we live in, our lives, your lives personally, my life personally, meaning my health, our health, whether our health is on the up and up, whether our health is on the down. I want to talk about like why women respond to us the way they do, whether it's good, whether we have a lot of women in the DMs, whether women are, or whether we're the type people that women are like, hey man, there's something about this guy I don't like. I want to talk about that paradigms, man. I want to talk about why the bank balance is what it is. Whether you're increasing on the increase, whether you're in that period of life where you're paying hella money to bank draft fees. I remember one time, brother, I paid $900 in bank draft fees one month. 900, almost $1,000 in bank draft fees, bro. I remember that day. I remember that clearly. So I want to talk about that, man. I want to talk about paradigms, bro. Because you got to understand, man, nothing else in existence is governing our lives except our paradigm. Like that's how powerful it is. So what is a paradigm, right? Google defines it as a typical example or pattern of something, quote unquote, a model, right? I personally define it as a group of thoughts, beliefs, and actions that create your world. A group of thoughts, beliefs, or actions that create your world. And it is my truth, man, that nothing else governs that. Like we can talk about, I mean, whether we talk about some entity, whether we talk about some government, whether we talk about the differences between religions. I mean, there's a number of things we can talk about. My personal belief is that nothing in this world outgoverns or governs your life rather than your paradigm, your thoughts, beliefs, and your actions. And I was astounded, brothers, when I found out how many thoughts we have a day. And I Googled it. And Google said, although it is impossible to be 100% accurate, human beings have about 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day. I'm gonna read that again, bro. Mr. Google said, although it is impossible, doing the research, and he gave all the references on who did this research or whatever, it's irrelevant. Although it is impossible to be 100% accurate, human beings have about 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day. I'm gonna tell you this, brother. I don't care what you do for the rest of this day, man. I don't care if you have service after this call. I don't care if you going to kick it with whoever. This is going to be the most important thing you hear today, bro. I guarantee it. That we have 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day, bro. Why is that important, man? Why is that important? Let's go back to the Kabbalion, right? In the Kabbalion chapter 4, the all, the first thing it really talked about in so many words was it was dispelling the idea that God is a man. And it was pretty much saying that, time and time, era after era, generation after generation, every time a group of people, grasp the concept of God, they want to make that God just like them. You know what I'm saying? In other words, we understand that we're made in the image and likeness of God, but mankind wants to make God in the image and likeness of himself. You know what I'm saying? Like we want to give a gender to God. A lot of people on a subconscious level give a skin color to God and give all these attributes of God as if it's human. The Kabbalion said such ideas are not worthy of grown men and women and are rapidly discarded. It's talking about when people start waking up, right? Then it teaches that the only thing that is real is God. Like the only thing is real is that energy of God, not this human being figure, but this energy. It said that's the only thing that's real. Every single thing else is a part of the illusion. Everything else. That the only thing that's real is God. And it said the reason that it's real is because it's the only thing that rests in constant energy. Everything else is governed by the pendulum. Long story short, right? But again, why are thoughts so important? Because that doesn't really have nothing to do with the 60 to 80,000 thoughts. The reason that's so important is because what it says this after that. It says modern science informs us that there is really no such thing as matter. that what we call matter is merely interrupted energy or force by way of thought into that thing, that essence, that constant energy. Think about this. It says modern science informs us, again, all the technology and studies or whatever, modern science informs us that there is really no such thing as matter, as nothing, as human bodies. That what we call matter is merely interrupted energy or force, or by way of thought. In other words, and we've said it before, anytime thoughts are going into that God essence, something is created from it. Something hard is created from it. A scenario is created from it. So if that's the truth, go back to what it says. Man has 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day. What does that mean? But it means that we think we're talking to God when we're meditating. You know what I'm saying? We think we're talking to God when we go to church in Juma. We think we're talking to God when we cut the radio down, when we're in the car and we're sharing our feelings. We think we're talking to God when we get bad news and we go sit in the living room and the lip is hanging and now we have this interaction with Source. You know what I'm saying? We think we're talking to God when we get on bended knee. We think we're talking to God when the pastor says, bow your head. But the truth is, brother, you're talking to God 24 hours a day. 60 to 80,000 thoughts divided by 24 hours? That's nonstop communication, bro. Nonstop. In other words, there isn't a point in time where your actions, thoughts, or behaviors aren't talking to source energy, man. So the real question is, what is it you're saying? If you're talking nonstop, the real question is, what is it we're saying, brothers? In other words, what state are we speaking from? What timeline are you on, right? And what I mean by that is all of us have visions. All of us have created visions. We understand where we've been, we understand where we are, we understand where we're going. Which one are you operating from? Which paradigm, which group of truths are you operating from? You know what I'm saying? If we're speaking to source 24 hours a day and all source energy can say is yes, if all source energy is saying yes, then what are we actually praying for, man? What are we actually praying for? Are we moving out of that vision? Because that's everything. It's everything, man. You know, I hear and I just started hearing this maybe in the last couple of years, where you hear rappers talk about operating on demon time. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who kicked that off, man, who started saying it, but I hear the Kodak Blacks and I hear, other rappers talking about bam, 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 I'm on demon time. What does that mean? What does that mean when a person says I'm on demon time, right? It means, and we can Google it, we can whatever, I'm sure we all have our own opinions, right? But when a man says he's on demon time, what he's saying is like there's a regular version of me that you might see every day, but something that is taking place, something that was said, something that was done to me has put me in full dark energy. Full dark energy. I'm on demon time, which means if you say something to me at this point in time, it's straight business. I'm straight smacking you on sight. If I got my piece, I'm pulling my piece. If I see your girl, I'm hollering at your girl. I'm on demon time. I'm on full darkness. Think about that. What does that actually mean? What it's saying is I'm completely aligning with a completely different paradigm than my norm. I'm on a whole different time, which means my thoughts, my actions, and my behaviors are aligned with something completely different. Or aligned with something completely different. Meaning, if you interact with me right now, me letting you know what time I'm on, lets you know what kind of energy is coming your way. Lets you know what state I'm in. Think about that, bro. I'm letting you know what state I'm in. That's why I'm saying, brothers, what time are you on? Because think about even what not Napoleon, what Neville said about state. If a man can control his state, whether it's demon time, whether it's whatever time, if a man can control his state, he can prophesy his own life. Think about that, bro. Think about how powerful our thoughts, actions, and behaviors are, man. It's everything. If our thoughts are going into that creative source 60 to 80,000 times per day, then our thoughts, our behaviors, and our actions are creating every single thing around us. Everything. Everything, man. So if a man can be on demon time, a man can be on any time. He can be on any time. And when I say demon time, you know, if somebody breaks in your house right now, middle of the night, you sleep, 12 o'clock, glass breaks, instantly, where you going? Demon time. Instantly, without even question, you're going there. So we have the power to switch paradigms at any point in time. It's a choice. The paradigm you're in is a choice. But the thing is, man, it's a choice, but it's a battle. It's a choice, but it's a battle, because we got to understand where our paradigms come from. And I don't want to go down that whole spiel, because we've had this conversation a million times. Our thoughts, our everything about us is pretty much because our upbringing, our parents. If you're a Christian now, Muslim, Buddhist, odds are, now some of us might have converted, odds are 90% of the people on this call are their religion because that's what mom and daddy was. You just took it as your truth. You just took it as your truth, man. The primary reason, our money and our health. Fred talks about it all the time. Fred talks about, hey, you know what? We incorporate all this high blood pressure and diabetes and all that. And first thing people want to say, oh, well, it's in my DNA, it's in my blood. No, it's in your paradigm, it's in your reality. The same thing goes with money and everything. The same thing goes with the way women react to you. The same thing goes with how your boss reacts to you. I know everybody has met that person, man. Well, you know, why you quit the job, bro? Well, man, the manager was crap. Next job, same thing. Next job, same thing. It's like, no, man, your managers might have some issues, but it's you. Because if you walk in there in a certain state, they respect that. They have to, because it's your reality. I always talk about the time when I went to Cape Town. And when you go in stores in South Africa, man, as a man of color, they automatically think you're going to walk in there with this subordinate state. I didn't know that at first. I was just walking in there being myself, and after one or two words were exchanged, but they stood up straight. They was like, "Oh, you're what they were really saying is, oh, your paradigm is not that of this place we're in. Your paradigm is of something else. So I have to govern myself according to that." Like I'm always saying, racism doesn't exist. It don't exist, bro. Racism can't exist unless two people agree on it. Unless two people agree on racism, it can't exist, bro. It might end up in death. Somebody might get killed behind it, but it can't exist unless two people agree. Unless somebody says, okay, you know what? You're better than me and I'm less than you. Unless both people agree on it. And I'm using racism, but it goes to everything. Poverty, success, anything. Unless you agree to what this world is, what do you think all this television stuff is for? It's constantly telling you who you are. Agree to this, agree to this. Y'all have seen the shirt say, obey. Obey. Y'all remember the old movie where the guy put the glasses on, they are here, whatever the name of that movie was, where the guy put the glasses on and all those subliminal signs were coming up? That's all the world is doing 24 hours a day. They're trying to capture those 60 to 80,000 thoughts. If it's 60 to 80,000 thoughts coming out of your existence, think about how important, think about how powerful a 30-second commercial is. Like if I want to get whatever percent 30 seconds is of 24 hours in a day, that means that percentage, that 30 seconds, that person is saying, I want to control what you're putting out into the God ether. Whether it's all people are dying from XYZ, whether it's the economy is going bad, for 30 seconds, why do you think Super Bowl charged so many millions of dollars per minute? Like, where's the value in that? Nobody really speaks like, man, like who puts the value on that? It's powerful, bro. If I can control you and get you in an emotional state for 30 seconds, I'm using your energy to create my world. If I get on here, man, and pump something for 30 seconds for a whole hour, I'm saying, you know what? I'm using your energy, if you aren't aware, to create my own world. That's how powerful our thoughts are, man. So we got to understand, man. I mean, a lot of times we got to just get to the root cause, bro. Root cause of like what, you know, where do those thoughts come from? Why do I believe what I believe? Like if my money is a certain way or my health is a certain way, let me get to the root cause. Let me go back and see, you know, I saw how mom and grandmama and them were seasoning the turkey and I started doing that. Like, why do I do that? Why do I put hog maws and everything I cook? Why do I put 34 grams of sugar and salt and everything and blame it on whatever? No, it's my paradigm. Something told me that was my truth, so I'm operating in that, man. So again, if we can operate in a state of darkness when we have to, we can operate in a state of operate in any state. Any state. So again, brothers, what time are you on, man? Which means like we've done all the inner work. We talked about meditation till the cows come home. We understand the emotional state. We understand creating the vision, walking in the I am, and forgiving, and now it's a whole lot of stuff associated with that. We've covered all that stuff. We've done the inner work. So it's not really the inner work. It's the what state are we walking in. It's like when we're having those 60,000 or whatever thoughts per day. Are we operating from the vision? Are we operating from being healed? Are we operating from being successful? Or are we governing ourselves to what these eyes see? That comes down to everything. Like I said the other day, man, like we can sit here, like a man can sit here and say what his truth is. But you don't even have to ask a man that. You don't even have to ask a man what his truth is. Look at the fruits of, look at his world. His world is his truth. There's no way around it. There's no way around it, bro. I can sit here and talk health all day. Yeah, brothers, I've been getting up at 3 a.m, going and doing all this stuff, man. If this gut ain't going down, I'm full of crap. If it ain't moving, I'm full of crap. Yeah, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to do all this stuff. If my bank account isn't going up, I'm full of crap. I'm lying to myself. We can lie to each other all day, bro. Get on social media. Social media is nothing but a room full of lies. We all know that. Everybody's life is not on 10, 24 hours a day. You get on social media, nobody has problems. Nobody money takes a ripple. Nobody has, gain a few pounds. Everybody's life is on 10. We can lie to each other, man, but you can't lie to yourself, bro. What you see in your world is what your truth is. Screw what you're saying. What your world is doing right now, where your bank account is, where your weight is, the relationship you and your girl. If every woman you get with is cheating on you, that's your paradigm. It won't change. It'll never change. You can date some Latinas. You can date a black girl, a white girl, an Asian girl. It ain't gonna change, bro. You can be a passport, bro. It ain't gonna change, bro. Because anywhere you on the planet, it's your paradigm. It's your thoughts, behaviors, and actions that's what's creating that, bro. In a singular truth, man, I said this. I said day in and day out, he entertains the same thoughts, habits, and actions as he did before. But he is now expecting different results to come from them. Blind to truth and having never experienced life without his veil, he is unaware that these three attributes are the elixir that created his current situation and is the same formula that will rescue him. It's the same thing that put you in this situation. It's the same formula that will rescue you, man. So what a man has to do is say, you know what? Why is my world doing what it's doing? Like why is my world doing, why is everything jacked up? Let me take the same formula. Let me look at what I'm doing. Let me look at what I'm thinking. Let me look at what I'm talking, what I'm watching. Let me look at who I'm texting. Let me look at what I'm eating. Let me look at what places I'm going to, what I'm doing in my downtime, what's taking up the majority of my time. Let me look at all those things and use that same recipe to create the life I want. We want to make it difficult, man. We want to go and put holy water on head and baptize, and you got to do all this stuff. It ain't that hard, bro. All the religious stuff we've added to it, and I'm not just talking about Christianity, I'm talking about every religion. We want to make life and growth so hard. But people make it so hard so they can monopolize it, man. They want to make it hard so they can monopolize it. They want you to go a certain route so they can govern it. Now, man, every man is governing himself, his thoughts, his actions. But it's all about what time you're on. Like on the thumbnail, man, I had those 2 planets. Which one are you operating from? Like which one? Like if one is your current now and one is your vision, which one are your actions based off of? What time are you on? There's no other way to say it. What time frame are you on, brothers? So, if life is not lifing, in other words, if you look up, you look around, and you say, you know what, man, like I like my life is not winning in this particular area. Again, going to those same areas, whether it's women, relationships, anything, a million. It's a million different. If my life is not doing what I wanted to do, what does that mean? What does that mean, and how can I fix it? What it means, brothers, is if your life is not life, and what it means is you're still operating on the old system. And when I say old system, I'm basing that off of what we talk about in here. If your life is not life and you're still running on an old iOS, you know what I'm saying? You're still running on an old app, which means you're still living your life based on the pendulum. I'll say it like that. You're still basing your life on the pendulum. You're still basing your life on the thing that governs this world. But the pendulum governs this world. That's how everything is created. Everything is created between 2 polar opposites. But when I say you're governing yourself based on a pendulum, you're still living with a gray area. Let me say that. Let me rephrase that. Because we brothers, and we all go through the same things. When we get in that frame where our life is not life, and we're going back to the old system where taking 2 polar opposites, we're choosing to vibrate on the latter, on the lower. In other words, let me say it like this. In other words, if the pendulum of our lives is swinging between winning and losing, success and failure, positive and negative, and life is not life, and that's saying you're still on the old system, which means you're still how can I say that? You're still living in the old system. Let me say it like this, you're still single spiritually. Spiritually, you're still a single man. Spiritually, you aren't married yet because you're still living between 2 polar opposites. You know what I'm saying? Instead of walking in that constant energy of God. That's how you bring your heaven upon earth, by matching that frequency of constant energy. If the Kabbalion says that the only thing is real is God, because God is constant energy, then how can you bestow your heaven on earth unless you match that energy? You know what I'm saying? The Bible says we're made in the image of God, but everybody doesn't operate in the image of God, which means everybody has the possibility to do it, but not everybody is doing it. We're created to do it. We have the ability to do it, but not everybody's going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that comes down to having one truth, because having one truth means there's no more vibration. There's constant energy. When we fix our constant energy on this planet, we're matching heaven. We're matching the state of God. Let me say it like that. That's what life is about, man. Again, all of us are made in the image, but not all of us walk in the image. It's a difference. It's a knowing. It's a knowing. If you operate still with the pendulum, man, and I'm saying we, because it's easy to set a goal and for a period of time say, okay, you know what, I might win, but if I don't, then I'm here. I might win, but if I don't, I'm here. You can't win like that. That's not even operating in God's state. That's not even operating in constant energy. We have to become pendulumless men. That's the goal, to become a pendulumless man. That when a man makes a decision, there is no other option. If I say, hey, you know what? This is my goal. I'm getting to this weight. I'm getting to this dollar amount. I'm going to find me a wife and have 2.5 kids and build me a house. Then there's no other way of operating. That's the only time I'm operating in. That's my paradigm. I'm on the time, instead of demon time, I'm on the time of my vision, and nothing else exists. Going back to demon time, when a man says he's on demon time, and if somebody breaks in his house, there's no portion of him where he says, okay, well, I'm gonna see somebody and I'm gonna just have a sit down with him and ask him a few questions like, why'd you break in my house? It's like, no, I'm on demon time, meaning all interactions are based on this timeline, which means us as pendulumous men, once we set our vision, that means all interaction with the world, with the late bills, with the wife, with the kids, with the bank account, are based on this timeline. Nothing else exists. I don't care what it's doing. I'm basing on this timeline because my thoughts and my actions and my behaviors are what's creating my world. That paradigm is everything, bro. So if your paradigm isn't, if your life isn't life, man, it must mean you're still operating in a pendulum state of mind. You know what I'm saying? You're still having multiple truths. Let me just say it like that. You're still having multiple outcomes. In God mode, man, there's only one outcome, and that's the vision. Meaning 60,000 times a day, 80,000 times a day, you're telling God, this is who I am. That's what you're praying. You can get on your knees and say what you want to say, bro. You can close your eyes and zen out to wherever you want to go. But the other 90% of thoughts, actions, that's what's creating your world, bro. Is meditating with your eyes open. It's living in the vision nonstop. It's prayer. It's going into that state saying no other state exists except this. I don't care what this world is doing. My new paradigm says this. You know, and a lot of times, man, we'll say like, oh, well, it's based on action. A lot of men aren't putting action in. I'm starting to think now, it's not even about that. It's about because you can put action in. If your state still isn't right, the action really is null and void. And I know faith without works is dead, but works without the right mindset is insane. Going back to my when I talk about it all the time, man, when I was 260, whatever. But I was in the gym every day. Every day. Treadmill, doing a little bit of weight, you know, but my mindset was in the same place. Mindset hadn't changed. I just changed my action, which means if my paradigm is still 267, then I can go to the gym all day. As soon as I leave that gym, I'm going straight to Popeyes. As soon as I get home, I'm going straight to the pantry, eating ho-hos. Because it's my paradigm. So it's not about action, man. It's about the intention behind the action. And to be honest, a lot of times it really doesn't take as much action when the intentions are right, when the mindset is right. Because I can go to the gym without the right mindset for 2 hours, or I can go for 30, 45 minutes with the right mindset and dominate. And dominate, man. It's all about which world you're living in. It's all about what state of mind. And again, that refers to like gym. You can look at you going to school. A lot of people go to college, man, and say, you know what? I'm finna go and I'm finna get this education. I'm finna get this XYZ, and it's finna build my kingdom. And a lot of people are going just saying, you know what? I think this is just the process I need to do. This is what everybody else is doing. And those people are going to get two different results. A man can say, you know what? All women are like that. All women are XYZ. If that's your paradigm, you can't expect nothing else out of that. Nothing. If all women are like that, that means your behaviors, your thoughts, and your actions are going to keep creating that. Why do you think the same red pill content creators are telling the same stories for 20 years? There's never no point of elevation. And I use red pill. We can talk about any scenario. Why do you think people, to talk about the same thing year after year after year after year after year with no elevation? Zero? And I'm talking about something you're complaining about. Women are this, the economy is this, the president doing this, politics, the Reds, what are the political Republicans, Democrats doing this? That's a paradigm people are creating, man. To wake up every day and think about this. To wake up every day, whether it's a series of days, whether it's 1 year, whether it's 2 years, whether it's 5 years, whether it's 50 years, and complain about the same thing for 50 years is the definition of insane. You're saying I'm talking about a man that understands. Because what a person is saying, I'm fully aware that my thoughts, my behaviors, and my actions are creating what I'm experiencing. But instead of changing anything, I'd rather soak in this and just keep battling it instead of just shifting my life and coming up out of that thing, man. It's insanity, bro. It's insanity, man. So the question is, brothers, what time are you on, man? And when I say that, brothers, meaning all of us have a vision. I say all of us have a vision. Let me say it like this. If a man has a vision, if he's done the inner work, if he's done the meditation, he's done the research, he's done everything. We know the whole inner working process. If he's operating in first person, he's creating that vibe. He's coming out of that vibe, and he understands what that vibe is. Now it's just a matter of him taking that vibe and bringing it back to this third dimension and operating from that place. Understanding what that vibe is cool. It's cool. It's cool to say, you know what? When I'm in my internal world, life is good, man. My relationships are good, man. And my dream, my imagination in the real world, and in the real world, life is on 10. But when I open my eyes up, man, I'm no longer operating from that place. I'm no longer operating from that timeline. I'm back here again. I'm on the world's timeline now. Think about that, man. If that's what's governing our world, that's everything, man. So the question is, brothers, what time are you working on, man? What time are you operating in? And to fix it, all you have to do is say, you know, what does my recipe call for? Because everybody on here, their recipe is going to call for something else. Some of us want to be personal trainers. Some of us want to be bankers or life coaches, or some of us want to, you know, just disappear and live life off grid. Some of us want to be speakers on stages. You got to say, what is my timeline? What does my recipe require? What does it require from me? Because to be honest, man, to break our paradigms, it has to be a shock. That's the only way you can break your paradigm, brother, is shocking it. Shocking it. Because think about this. The average man wakes up and his day is pretty much exactly the same way it is forever. I'm talking about when a man hits 21, 25, between 21, 25, 30, and death, a man's life, it doesn't change. He gets up, he puts his clothes on the exact same way at the same time. Wife is in there making the lunch. Everything is clockwork. He pets the dog on the way out, kisses the wife, closes the door, starts the truck in the same way, backs out, takes the exact same route to work every day, talks to the same partners, clocks in at the same clock, drive home, watch the same old Sanford and Son every single day when he gets home, cooks the same meal, get the same living from his wife every day, and goes to sleep. And I'm not saying that's a bad life. It's not a bad life at all. But if you're living that life and you say, hey, you know what? I'm not happy with this, man. For you to say you're not happy, for me to say I'm not happy and wake up and do that exact same thing every day for 20 years is insane. It's beyond insane. It's like, what are you thinking about? If you understand your thoughts, your behaviors, and your actions are creating your world, but you make no change, going back to what I said in a singular truth. Day in, day out, he entertains the same thoughts, habits, and actions as he did before. In other words, now a man is aware that something else is taking place. Day in, day out, he entertains the same thoughts, habits, and actions as he did before. But now he's expecting a different result to come from it. Now he's expecting a different result to come from it. That's what the Kabbalion call a half-truther. Now you're aware of a thing. You're aware of a thing. You know how to go in there and create and meditate and all that stuff now. But every single day, this third dimensional world is you're doing the exact same thing. And you want something else to come from it. Blind to truth and having never experienced life without this veil, he is unaware that these three attributes are the elixir that created his current situation and is the same formula that will rescue him.